Abhishek, stay with me. I'm sorry to interrupt you there. I think we're getting in some responses. Sidharth Luthra, advocate, joining us on the phone line. Mr. Luthra, many would argue saying that the government has put India first, India's interests first, Indian investments first. Of course, nothing has stopped from China. It's just that there is a safeguard in place. What's your first response to this?
I think this was to be expected. China has deep pockets, and the churning that this epidemic is bringing to our economy and to corporations, large and small, is that there will be a lot of promoters, a lot of business persons who may be willing to sell out because they can't sustain it over a period of time. So there was a serious concern, I assume, within the government that there are going to be takeovers, there is going to be investment. There were concerns that China will be the first to move in, and therefore this cleverly worded change was imperative. Speaking for myself, I think as the world grows and there are going to be greater closed economies, we are going to have a situation where we will need a level of protectionism again for our country, for our people. We will have to interact with the world at large, but also ensure that there is greater protection to our own industries and our own people. So I believe this is a change in the right direction. Perhaps this may also help in the long run, because if India has a chance to be a manufacturing power, one issue is that India will be, whether India will be manufacturing on its own steam or whether we'll be doing a proxy manufacturing for China. And therefore, this protective policy was imperative at this point.
Senior advocate Mr. Luthra continues to be with us. Thank you for being with us. He's also a former additional Solicitor General. Mr. Luthra, as you are saying, this is a great move forward. We completely endorse it. There is an amendment to the FDI policy with para 3.11 being changed. Sir, the larger implications of this, because it's only the government now that will give any green signal ahead for China to come forward. Isn't it time that India, that is now putting the first steps of any pressure on China, should also possibly, along with all the countries of the world or some of the European and America, come together and come up with some sort of a signaling to China if all is not well, or that's what possibly they are thinking?
So, as I said, this is in line with what Europe is doing. Europe is also concerned about Chinese domination in this time. And my belief is that this will have to be a concerted world effort. We have to have a world order which is fairer, which is more balanced, where the power doesn't tilt only in the direction of China, but economies such as India, Europe, have a place in the post-COVID world. We have seen what has happened to the US, and as it is apparent to see, their economy is going to be deeply damaged. The human factors, the human cost there is far, far greater than is being indicated. And with the US US post-COVID taking time to resurrect or sustain itself, there is going to be an empty space on the world stage, and there will have to be a balancing. In the past, India had a completely closed economy. We have opened up FDI over the last many decades, post-91. So it is within the government's power, and it's not that the government says no. It's through the government. So the government has the discretion whether to allow it or not on a case-by-case basis. It's not an open game. And that becomes important because even the transference of FDI, one is acquisition of FDI, one is already FDI. Even if that is to be transferred, even that will require permission. And both these changes in a very short press note are very comprehensive and very important for India at this stage.
Well, absolutely. Mr. Sidharth Luthra, appreciate you joining us here on Republic TV. No free run, no exploitation of India's interests. I think that's the large message, the largest message that the government has sent out.